Today, we're diving into a really cool idea from Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow. Seriously, this is one of those concepts that might just completely change how you think about how you think.
Before we get into all the nitty-gritty, let me ask you something. When you make a choice, and I mean any choice, from what you're going to have for lunch to a huge life decision like a career change, who is really calling the shots? You probably think, well, I am, obviously. But you'll see it's actually a lot more complicated than that.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, Kahneman suggests we think of our mind as this little drama playing out in our heads. And this drama has two main characters. He calls them System 1 and System 2. So, let's meet our cast, shall we? First up, you've got System 1. Think of this as the hero of our story. It's fast, it's intuitive, it's automatic. This is where all your gut feelings come from, just chugging along in the background. And then there's System 2. This is the slow, deliberate, conscious part of you. You know, the one you think of as you. The one that believes it's in charge. But is it really? All right, let's dive a little deeper into our first character, System 1. This guy is like the silent author behind a lot of your judgments and choices. It's constantly generating these surprisingly complex ideas and feelings, all automatically, without you even trying.
Okay, so let's put your System 1 to the test right now. I want you to imagine we're talking about a guy named Steve. And this description, it was pulled completely at random from a sample of the population. Ready?
I'm willing to bet an answer just popped into your head. Like, instantly, didn't it? That was your System 1 at work. It saw a description that sounds exactly like the stereotype of a librarian, and boom, it jumped to a conclusion. It took a shortcut based on what felt familiar.
But here's the catch, and this is what's so fascinating about System 1's biases. It completely ignores the cold, hard facts. You see, for every one male librarian in the United States, there are more than 20 male farmers. So statistically speaking, it is way, way more likely that Steve is a farmer. But your System 1, it doesn't really care about statistics. It just goes with the story that feels right.
Okay, so that's our fast-acting hero, System 1. Now, what about our other character? Let's meet System 2. This is the part of you that does the actual effortful thinking, the heavy lifting. But, and this is a big but, it has one really defining trait. It's lazy.
Let's try another little puzzle. And again, the key here is don't overthink it. Just listen and tell me the very first answer that pops into your head. It should feel pretty effortless.
I'm going to guess your first thought was 10 cents. Am I right? If so, you're in good company. A whole lot of students at places like Harvard and MIT said the exact same thing. That answer, that nice, simple, intuitive answer, that came straight from System 1.
But it's wrong. The correct answer is actually 5 cents. So why do so many of us get it wrong? Well, let's just do the math real quick. If the ball is 5 cents, then the bat, which is $1 more, is $1.05. Add them together, and you get $1.10. See? This little puzzle perfectly shows off System 2's laziness. It could have done the work and checked the math, but instead it just looked at the easy answer System 1 served up and said, yeah, that looks good enough. So, okay, we have this fast, intuitive hero, System 1, and this slow but lazy controller, System 2. So the big question is, what happens when they actually disagree, when they're in direct conflict with each other? All right, this here is a classic test that really shows that conflict in action. If you look at the first column, the task is pretty easy, right? But now, try the second one. Suddenly, it's way harder. Why? Because your System 1 is screaming to read the word, but your System 2 is trying to force itself to say the case. You know that mental effort, that strain you feel? That is literally your System 2 putting in the work to override System 1. That feeling is self-control. Okay, so this whole internal drama is kind of fascinating. But you might be wondering, why does any of this matter? Well, it's because this isn't just some neat psychological theory. It's a really powerful tool you can use to actually improve your own thinking and judgment. You know, as Kahneman points out, it's really easy, and let's be honest, kind of fun, to spot the mistakes in how other people think. We're great at that. The real challenge is seeing our own. So the whole point of this framework is to give us a language, a shared vocabulary, to talk about and diagnose these predictable thinking errors, not just in others, but hopefully in ourselves too.
So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway from all this. Just by giving these two systems a name, System 1 and System 2, we can actually start to notice them working inside our own heads. We can learn to question our gut feelings, we can get better at spotting our own biases, and most importantly, we can know when it's time to hit the brakes, slow down, and wake up that lazy System 2 to actually do its job, especially when the decision really matters.
So the next time you have one of those really strong gut feelings, just pause for a second and ask yourself, is that my fast, intuitive hero talking, or do I need to wake up my lazy controller to take a closer look? And as you're sitting here right now, which one of those characters do you think is in charge of you?